You know, these videos aren't for kids. If you aren't at least 18 or are easily offended, you should probably click off. We here at Dual Wield accept no responsibility for your children. So if you are an adult who sat your kids down to watch our videos, you should be ashamed. Anyway, back to the video.
Hello everyone. We hope you all are enjoying 31 days of Halloween. Now, sit back, relax, enjoy, and shriek your heart out. Welcome to the Dual Wield Horror Review.
Greetings, my loyal subjects and fellow wielders. It is I, the Prince of All Saiyans, Vegeta Almighty, back with 31 days of Halloween, and today we have a different sort of video for you as well. As always, joined by, not Jen this time, but Shady Angel. Say hello.
Hello, my subjects. It is I, the Princess of Angels.
Can I sue? I don't know if I could sue. We should sue. Anyway,
He's just Sue happy lately.
no, I'm just tired of people gimmick infringing.
Well, then stop gimmick infringing.
No, it's my thing. All right.
I was hoping you were going to get that one.
Yeah. Can you turn that up a bit? Because now that it's too far away from you. Yeah. Anyway, we're good. But today we are going to be discussing something that is supernatural, fairy tale, kind of horror adjacent. I think would be a fair kind of synopsis on it.
I wouldn't say horror because it's not meant to be.
Well, it's not meant to be horror, but that's why I say it's horror adjacent. These are monsters. These are things that can be used in a horror setting. But in this context, it's more of a comedic drama. More drama than comedy, but I don't know. Whenever... We'll get to that. We'll get to that. So me and Shady sat down, not that long ago now. We sat down and we were bored and we wanted to watch something on TV. And so we were just randomly scrolling through Timing Out.
Did I bring up my drink?
No.
Fuck.
Anyway, before I was rudely interrupted, we were sitting down one day. We were bored out of our minds, and we decided, let's watch something on TV. And we were scrolling through, Hulu, Netflix, Paramount,
TikTok.
Paramount Plus, Peacock, Prime Video, just trying to find something to watch, and we stumbled across this show titled Grimm. And we sat down thinking, it would be a good way to kill a few minutes. It sounds kind of interesting, looks kind of interesting. You know what? Let's go ahead and let's watch one episode. Well, a season and a half later, here we are. And have fallen madly in love with this show. It's a show that, well, Shady, do you want to talk about the premise?
Well, it is essentially just a retelling of the Grimm brothers' story, fairy tales, and creatures and things like that. And I actually had seen something on TikTok previously, and we were looking for something to watch, and that's when, we happened upon the Primes of Amazon, and saw, that they have all the seasons, because, why not? And sat down to take a little whack at it, a little smack and a whack.
Smack and a whack.
I hate you.
Sorry.
Anyways, I will say I was extremely pleasantly surprised. It is an NBC show, so that didn't mean it was going to be any kind of good. Biased here on NBC.
Yeah, really.
But Well, ever since they... What was the show called that they got rid of when I was a kid that I absolutely loved? Oh, anyways, ever since then, I'm a little biased. Plus, nobody likes NBC.
I mean, that's fair. Yeah, that's fair. Now, so here's my
We are so bad at doing reviews.
sorry, I'm a little preoccupied at the moment.
What are you doing?
I was trying to get this stupid thing restarted.
Well, I meant, tell the viewers what you're doing.
Just trying to restart a computer, trying to get it all cleaned up and ready for use. Trying to get a new editor on the team here, and I'm trying to prep.
Me.
Yeah, her. As opposed to, me doing everything. I was trying to get her a little workspace ready so she could start doing some editing. Sorry about that. Trying to multitask, and let's not do that. But anywho, Grimm it's such a good show. Like, I did not expect it to be... I just thought it was just going to be another one of those, and no offense, but I thought it was going to be one of those True Blood, fucking Vampire Diaries, or whatever.
Hey, don't you dare speak.
Look, I'm just saying, I am not the target demographic for those shows.
That's true.
And I'm not a fan of those shows. I don't hate them. I don't have anything against them. Like, the same way that I don't have anything against, I don't know, like, cooking shows or anything like that. I'm not the demographic that they are for, And therefore, I don't watch them.
Uncultured.
I'm just saying, like, those kind of shows were not targeted at me. And I was kind of expecting Grimm to be similar. I'm pleasantly surprised. Like, it is so damn good. It's probably one of my new favorite shows, period.
Yeah.
Like, it's so good. It's so good.
Too bad we don't have Max anymore, because we could definitely be getting the next favorite show that we have, which would be Warrior.
This is true.
Not that this is a Warrior
review,
but let me just say, awesome.
Quick word of encouragement for it. But yeah, no, I love Grimm, like, because it's just so, it's almost like a procedural cop drama mixed with, like, supernatural.
Yeah.
In a way.
Well, kind of, except for it's not really a cop drama. I would say it's more like a,
It's a procedural. It's almost like a buddy cop thing, too.
Yes!
A very buddy cop.
It's not a cop-y drama, it's a cop-y comedy.
It's really good. It has a good blend of comedy and drama and suspense, and it's several times me and Shady have been on the edge of our seats, like, just yeah, and it gets a lot to get me suspenseful about stuff in shows.
Even Jen got into it, and let me tell you,
Jen to get into anything is fucking impossible.
It is. I love him to death. I did marry him. Sometimes to my regret, sometimes not. But you cannot watch anything with him. He'll watch anything with him. It'll be 1 or 2 episodes, and then he'll never watch it again with you. I still haven't watched Ascension because of him. Because, oh no, don't watch it, babe. We'll watch it together.
You think watching stuff with him is bad? Try recording stuff with him. Yeah. Especially, okay, full disclosure here, this is going off on a separate tangent altogether, but I need to get this off my chest. I love you, Jen. I really do. Recording the podcast with you, not that hard. That's one thing. We sit down and we talk, which we do that anyway. Getting him to record any kind of gameplay is like pulling teeth while also doing surgery on an airplane underwater. Like, it's so hard to get him to focus. And I get it. pot calling the kettle black here about focus. But you get my point.
No, because you and I have ADHD. Jen has ADD. So we can, like, feed off each other's energy and go and, talk about what we want to talk about and then come back on, to the focus of our conversation. Like right now, it's supposed to be about Grimm, but we're off on, Jen. We will come back. He, however, will stay on that path until he dies.
Yes, and viewers...
Or brought back in. We got to take that crook, the sheep crook, and just get
Oh, yeah. Look, longtime fans of this channel, and people who have listened to the podcast before, can vouch for that. There's been several times I've had to perform the old crook, pulling him back onto the subject. And it's my own fault. 9 times out of 10, I end up getting us off on that tangent, but it is what it is. Anyway, segueing seamlessly back into the topic at hand. Yeah, so all of that just being said, that if Jen can get involved and like really committed to watching it, that's how you know it's good. It's really
he doesn't watch it with us because he can't commit that much, but he's right where we are.
I think the problem with that is more so a scheduling issue. You and I are off, and he's at work, and then we're like, I'm bored, let's watch Grimm. And he's at work like, hi, welcome to this place, can I help you? I'm not going to dox his place of business like that, but you know what I mean.
Let's just say he's technically inclined in his job.
Yeah. But anyway, back to Grimm.
No sense, because he's really not all that technically inclined.
Yeah, who are you telling? Again, sole editor Vegeta here.
Hey, maybe I'll be an editor-in-chief someday too.
Yeah, but not right now. Anyway, back on point!
We will get there!
We are there!
Don't you dare snap
there's this character in the
said
show.
good day.
Here's this character in the show, and we love him. This is the official... I would even consider changing this to the Monroe fan club. Like, this...
Oh, man.
Monroe is the fucking best.
So, before we get there, we gotta tell them about who Monroe is. So, first, he is not the lead. The lead is a...
But he should be! Sorry.
The lead is none other than Nick.
Detective Nick Burkhart.
Yeah, and he, is a small town...
Boy!
Well, wait.
Oh.
Not small town. Where are they at? Seattle?
Portland, I think?
Portland?
I think they're in Portland.
They're in the northwest somewhere.
Yeah, it's a big city.
It's a city.
He's not from Portland, though.
That's not where they're at, dingus.
Yeah, okay.
Where it
Jesus
starts.
Christ. Yeah, it's in Portland.
It's in Portland.
Yeah.
And he is a detective. And, not giving anything too much away, you find out in the first episode that he is a Grimm. He is from a family known as the Grimms. And they are basically the police of the supernatural world.
I feel like that's putting it a bit too
it is, but
generously.
it's the best way to explain it without...
But yeah, that's fair.
Without ruining it too much. I'm not trying to sit there and,
spoil the show, yeah.
Give a complete synopsis of the show to the point that nobody wants to go watch it.
Yeah, I think it's fair. That's fair. I don't think that we should give too much plot spoilers away. It's such a good show. We just decided that we wanted to get on here and gush about it for a little bit. You guys should definitely go check it out. It's on Prime Video. It's on, I think it's on Peacock too, right?
No.
It was on another one, though.
Tubi.
No, I'm pretty sure it was
I
Peacock.
just checked it out. It was Tubi.
Okay, anyway.
It is on... Oh, it is on Peacock.
Ah!
Sorry. Amazon Prime, Peacock, CW, and YouTube.
It definitely feels like a CW show, by the way.
It is.
I will say that it's probably the best CW show that has ever been made.
However, I will give you a word caution if you go and check it out. The CGI...
It's a CW show. That's what I'm just... It feels like a CW show.
Yeah, but I watched, what was that mermaid show that they had on there?
It's a CW show.
And that CGI was way better than this.
It's a CW.
And this ran for 6 seasons. So.
Anybody ever seen The Flash TV show?
Yeah,
There
that
you
is
go.
still better CGI.
That is cap, and you know it.
It was still better CGI.
That's cap, and you
it
know
was
it.
still better CGI.
Here's a cap for you to put on for all that capping you're doing.
Anyways, but going back with a real quick brief description, you do have the buddy cop situation between Nick and Monroe, who is one of the Supernaturals, and his actual buddy cop, Hank. And they basically spend their time around Portland solving crimes that are both human in nature and supernatural in nature.
Yeah.
There are, I will say something that they should have probably brought up earlier in the season is that it is based actually on the German storytelling. So, like, all the creature names are what?
So, boy, that was easy for you to say.
Right? Tongue twister. All the different supernatural names are mostly Germanesque, unless they, are a French story or, Irish or Spanish or anything like that. But they're not called, like fairy tale creatures or anything like that, or fairies or whatever. They are called Destin, which was something that you learn way too late to figure out. They live in plain sight, obviously, things like that. And you just follow Nick, Monroe, and Hank through protecting Oregon and its residents.
Yeah.
You want to add anything to that?
I mean, I feel like that sums it up pretty nicely. There's a couple of other characters. There's Jessica, the girlfriend of Nick. She is obviously the love interest and has her own little things going on. There is the captain, Captain Renard. He is important.
Yes.
Very important character.
And then
what's his name? Wu? Sergeant Wu?
I
love Sergeant Wu.
You know what? I thought Monroe was the comedic relief, and we have to put it there. Sergeant Wu is also
yes.
comedic relief.
Sergeant Wu is fantastic, though. He's a fantastic character.
As a not important, non-main character.
He's super good. He's a super great background.
Whoever put his story stuff together was a genius, because when you need that comedic relief,
he's there.
He's there.
He's fantastic. He is
And then
he's a
we have to talk about the Hexen bitch.
I was gonna get there. Yeah. So she's actually a hex. It's called a hex. She's called what? Yeah. She's what's called a Hexen beast.
English one?
Yeah. No, it's German actually. Haha. But no, she's what's called a Hexen beast, but we call her the Hexen bitch because she's a bitch. Let's just be honest. I hate. Okay, I've never watched Game of Thrones. But I know how much people hate Joffrey. She is my Joffrey.
However, she is nothing like Joffrey.
Yes, from what I've understood, Joffrey's way worse. But she's my Joffrey, damn it.
But her name is Allison, and she's a...
No, it's not. It's Adeline.
Adeline! See, he said Game of Thrones. I went with Allison. My fault. Anyways, she is important also, obviously, for reasons we can't divulge without, giving the whole thing away.
Damn,
but, she is something else,
she's
man.
the worst.
And it just really is a good show. It captivates you. I mean, if I'm going to give it a letter grade, it's definitely A. If I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10, it is definitely a solid 9.
For sure.
Give it the good graphics, it would have been definitely better.
So, and this is with a season behind us, basically.
Yeah, and there's more. We haven't watched any more than 1.5 seasons. So, we're still in season 2, and I cannot rave about it. Now, granted, it could definitely get worse later on, as, shows do sometimes. But, it's going to be hard to really ruin it for me, even with some of the stuff that is kind of like fodder, that's just kind of,
Yeah.
It's not even really, it's just kind of like, alright, well, that was a feeder episode, just to kind of...
You definitely, there is some, what feels like filler. I will say that for sure. But, like I said, the show is really good. It just hits a lot of... It hits a lot of, like, needs or wants that I didn't know I had out of a show. Like, it hits a lot of points that I really enjoy. It's
good drama.
Good drama. It's not predictable. Like, it's not super predictable. I mean, granted, I've been around the block enough. I've watched enough, consumed enough content. Yeah, I've had a couple of good predictions here and there, and so is Shady. But I mean, all in all, the show's not super predictable. There's things that happen that come out of nowhere. The character work is so good. Like, everyone plays their part, and they play it well.
Right, and that's the thing.
From people like Monroe all the way down to Bud. Well, since we've interrupted the episode, I guess I'm going to be cutting this out because that was an awkward fucking pause. You fiend. My God. I need you to go to rehab.
I tried to go here, and... Sorry. I am a vapor, and my vape died.
And she needs to go to vape rehab. Anyway.
You need to go suck a big toe.
Anyway, Bud, the fridge repair guy.
Oh, yeah.
Even Bud is fantastic.
Actually, he's one of my favorites.
Yeah, he's great. I don't think, so far, I have not seen a character out of place. Everyone just feels right, if that makes sense.
Everyone fits their spot perfectly.
Yeah, it's a fantastic, like the cast is stellar. Not necessarily a whole lot of people that, I mean, there are a few people in there that you're like, oh, I know this person from this show. There's a couple of good people and, big name people in there. But, like, it's their real, like, everyone is cast perfectly. You don't get casting that's just for the sake of saying I cast this person. You get, this is who I envision the character to be, so this is who I'm casting. And, it's one of those things where it's like, I almost feel, and I've had this conversation with Shady before, I almost feel like if they had better CGI, they would be, and more, like, a higher budget, they'd be more keen to rely on that. And then that, as a result, the writing wouldn't be as good. I feel like it would be a better...
writer is phenomenal.
Phenomenal, yeah. I feel like that show would be worse if it had a better budget and a higher, like a better CGI.
Whereas
That's my
I
opinion.
feel if they worked a little bit harder on it, it would make it a little bit better. I'm not saying like, Game of Thrones or anything like that, kind of like CGI. I'm talking about like, just so it doesn't look like he stepped out of a, intro to CGI class.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's not perfect, right? It's got its flaws, but like I said, I think that if it had a better budget, better CG, I feel like it would be more inclined to rely on that because we got this expensive thing that we paid all this money for. Let's utilize that. Screw everything else. Let's focus on this crap that we've spent the money on, and the writing will fall. I feel like it's a trope, and it's a pitfall that a lot of productions fall into nowadays. Is, oh, look at this beautiful thing we made. Look at this high-paid, high-budget actor that we were able to sign for this movie, and they don't fit the role. This CG is just overused, and it's just a...
Well, yeah, but if like, later on in the season, they start using a little more prosthetics, too, which I think is what made it better.
Yeah.
The problem with what I feel is they kind of copped the CGI to where it looks campy in the first season, and then when they started adding the visual, the prosthetic, then it started being a little bit better. And that's what I was saying before when we were watching it. When they started doing that, it made it a little bit better for me. It doesn't have to be, this Vessen's supposed to look like a wolf
Yeah.
man hybrid, and, make it into something out of Underworld.
Yeah.
But it doesn't also need to look like it came from a cartoon creation kit.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. But see, for me, I'm a big like supporter of practical effects anyway. I think practical effects just look better than CG in most cases. If it's something that can be done with practical effects, I think using practical effects is better.
I do too. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that the way it was.
No. I get it. Well, you also got to think too. It's season 1.
Well, we're in 2, and it's still.
It's gotten better though.
Eh.
It's gotten a little better. Like you said, they're implementing more practical effects. They're using the CG for more of the transforming and certain things that they just can't get down with practical effects. I think that they're making steps in the right direction. Your first season, maybe even up to first 3 seasons of a show, can suffer from stuff like that. Can suffer from, well, this is an unproven product. We're going to give it this budget, and if it proves itself, we'll start giving it more budget.
Right, but I still feel like they copped out.
I don't think that's the case. You got to remember that all that stuff takes money. That all takes money. And that's one of those things where it's like, it's an unproven product. It's a new show that there's not a whole lot like it. I mean, but there is things like it, and you're going up against like Supernatural and things like that. Things that are in the same kind of realm of that, and it's a risky product. So you're not going to want to throw like a bajillion dollars at it at first. You're going to want to let it prove itself. And I don't know how successful this show actually is. I haven't looked that up. All I know is what I've seen, I've been thoroughly impressed by.
So, I was looking it up online. It is a 7.1 out of 10, I think, is what, let me check. 7.9 out of 10 for the IBMD and 89% on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm going to be honest, I think that's low. I think what people got it is literally let me see what.
I think for the internet, that's good. I think when we're considering.
It's a 90% audience score.
Yeah.
So, if that tells you anything. It did come out in 2011, so obviously they didn't have the greatest CGI and stuff back then, but, they didn't. Not for shows.
For shows, no. Yeah, you're right. I'll give you that.
So, yeah.
The CG existed. It was just something that was more. You had to pay out more for it, and TV shows didn't really have that kind of budget, especially unproven, TV shows that have competition. And I think that's a good score to have for the internet, especially. I mean, because we all know the internet. Like, we're all here right now. We all know how fickle this place can be, and how awful it can be at times. And I think that, putting our bias aside, because we really enjoy it, doesn't mean that everyone is going to enjoy it the same way that we do, because everyone's taste is completely subjective. But I think that, if we're being fair, the scores that you read off are actually really good, considering it's the internet, and
it's maintained that over the years.
Yeah, it's maintained that, and it's, like you said, the CG, people are very fickle. The CG is not great. The CG is not great. And, normally people see that and on the internet, and then that's where things get tanked, is by all these armchair experts, thinking they could do it better. Of course I'm not gonna.
I was gonna say, you kettle black call.
First of all, I've never once said that I could do something better.
No, but you do that kind of shit, though.
What are you talking about?
I could have written that better.
No, I don't say it. Well, never mind. Hey, I'm just saying, I've watched WWE's product lately. I'm pretty sure I could do a better job booking some matches. I'm just going to be honest. That one's just me being real. But no, in all seriousness, I feel like the scores that we read off were those were fair. Like I said, throwing aside our biases, 8 out of 10, 90% out of 100%. is a fantastic rating for anything, like especially a TV show from 2011 on the internet. I recommend
With
giving it a
crap
watch.
graphics.
Yeah, with crap CGI. I'm going to give this one a recommend. 2 thumbs up from the Prince.
What's your letter grade?
Letter grade. Well, I feel super biased in saying this. When I like something, I super like it. When I hate something, I super hate it. I have a couple of videos that can attest to that. Saints Row. So. Also, let it be known. Let the scoreboard show. Vegeta 1, game developer 0. Goodbye, Volition. Anyway, I know. If I had to give it a letter grade, I think A is a solid choice. If we want to go into plus or minus, I would say A minus just to be fair. B plus to A minus just to be fair. Simply because I feel like I'm being biased by giving it an A.
I'm not. I feel that it definitely deserves the A. Like,
from what we've seen so far, yes, I 100% agree. But I'm always skeptical of giving things too high grades.
Season 1, A. Solid A.
Yeah. I'm always skeptical to give things too high of a grade and overhype them, and then someone look at me and be like, oh, that was ass. Because again, taste is so subjective.
This is true, but at the same time, your feeling on what it feels like that's why I said A. I feel the writing alone made the whole thing an A.
The writing is fantastic. Whoever wrote that show deserves some sort of award if they haven't gotten one. Just super impressive show. I think it's fantastic, and I think everyone should go right now. When you're done with this video, go watch some Grimm. And just enjoy yourself. Get immersed in it.
Oh, and you don't need to know anything about Grimm Fairy Tales.
Right, which, I guess who doesn't, which of the two of us doesn't know anything about Grimm Fairy Tales?
You.
Yeah, that would be me. But I thoroughly enjoy the show. It's a bit campy at times, but it's, like I said, it's good.
It's good camp.
If you're someone like me who just enjoys good character work, and also enjoys, like, schlocky B movie like horror slashers and stuff like that. Not to say that those are anywhere near what Grimm is, but if you're okay with less production value, even if it means a good film or a good show or whatever, I think you should definitely go check this out. This one gets a strong recommendation from me. And like I said, it's good. It's something that if you're not really into horror for whatever reason. But if you want to get into some sort of like spooktacular Halloween-ish kind of stuff, and you were looking for some sort of recommendations on what to watch, I would highly recommend putting something like that on. I think you guys would. It's a good substitute for horror when it comes to Halloween-related stuff. I think anyway.
I will say it is not something I would recommend your kids watch if they're young.
Yeah, I could see where it could be scary to kids.
Well, that and there is
there's some violent
stuff.
Well, you got to remember it's a cop show basically. He's a cop, and there's a lot of crime scenes they go to.
There's supernaturals.
Yeah, and there's a lot of gory crime scenes they go to. Again, not saying that it's something that an adult would be squeamish over, but again. To each their own when it comes to parenting styles. Feel like it should be said that.
Well, as a mom, I would say younger kids probably would not watch with. I don't watch it with my 8-year-old, but I would with my 12-year-old.
Yeah. I think that's fair. I think it could be traumatic, but I think all in all.
I think it would just be a little scary for the amount of blood.
Yeah. I agree with that. But, like I said, it's a good show. So many different, types of creatures, too.
Yeah, and they tell you about them, which is nice. It's not just that's a bird woman.
Yeah.
It's
a Harvey Birdman, attorney at law.
Yeah, and he, has a black mask and yellow feathers.
And it's played by Michael Keaton. No.
The point being is, they do tell you about the creatures that they are, what they do, or what they are about, where they're from, originally, cultural-wise. You know, there's a type of beaver, I can't remember what they're called. Eisenbeaver, yeah, and they're communal, and they tell you all about that stuff. Like, it's not just a...
It's very lore-heavy.
Oh, it's an Eisenbeaver.
It's very lore-heavy.
What's an Eisenbeaver? It's a beaver, and it's Eisen, and it's not from Canada.
But it's very lore heavy, and I really do like the world building that they do with that. There's like a whole Pokédex worth of like creatures that you run into. What? I mean, that's fair.
It is fair, but I just like how go Eisenbeaver.
Yeah, it's a fantastic world building.
I choose you, Renegade.
Go, Monroe.
Blue button.
Monroe uses veganism. It's super effective at being annoying.
Thing. So, Monroe is a werewolf type-esque, and I'm not going to tell you what it's called, because
You just did, though.
Oh, did I? I
Yeah.
said a werewolf type.
Never mind. Go ahead.
Anyways, and he's a vegan.
Vegan. Pure vegan.
Does not eat any meat, but he is a meat-eating type.
Vesson. Yeah, he's reformed, man. He is, but he's fantastic. He is a great character. He has stolen our hearts. And Monroe, #1 character.
Definitely.
Best character. Even though he's not the main character.
Even over Woo.
Yeah, he's over Woo. He's over Nick. I'm sorry. I like Nick, but Monroe is the best. We stand Monroe over here.
We do.
But I think we've rambled on and gushed enough about how much we love this show without very much insightful looks into it. We've just kind of gushed for a bit, and I know I have not really had a whole lot of impressive takes on or anything about that, but you know, it's just one of those shows that, you know, without going into spoilers or going into too much detail, it's really hard to talk about it because you just want to gush about certain twists and turns and spoilers and things like that. So if any of what we've said so far even sounds remotely interesting to you, like I said, it's about a cop who finds out that he's a Grimm, which means he can see things that other people can't, which is like these Vesson, which are basically just the monster people. And he starts experiencing this, and
that is speciesist. They are not.
And he starts experiencing things, and you know, it's wacky adventures unfold from there, and it's super good. And if it's
Vesson has feelings too.
Yeah, well, Vesson aren't real. So. You know who else? You know who else apparently has feelings that aren't real? Australians. Did I? I'm gonna get sidetracked again if I bring this up.
I can't believe you said that.
Did I ever show you that? There was a guy online who like legitimately believed that Australia wasn't real.
Are you kidding me?
No, we'll get onto that. That's something I'll show you off screen. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, go give it a watch. If you don't have time to watch an episode of Grimm, or you don't have any of this streaming services, or you're busy for whatever reason.
It's free on YouTube.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, don't know if we should be promoting that.
Why?
Because it's probably not up there legally.
Yeah, it is. And learned it through.
Is it free on YouTube, or can you buy it on YouTube?
No, it says free on YouTube.
On YouTube TV?
Hold on, I'll show you. Right there, free.
Click on it. Click watch. Yeah, at the back. Yeah.
Well, it said free, so I tried.
Yeah, it's free to pay for. You are freely allowed to pay for it.
You are freely allowed to suck my cock.
Anyway, but for whatever reason you're not able to watch it right now, or you don't have the time, and you want to put something else on, why not check out some of our other videos? And
thank you all for joining us this time around, and I look forward to seeing you all at another time. And this is me signing off.
Anyway, sorry about that, everybody. I had a bit of an emergency come up. I'm going to go ahead and end the video here, a little bit shorter than we wanted to. Shitty's stepped out and taken care of the issue, but we got to go take care of that together. So, thank you all so much for coming out, and I hope to see you guys tomorrow. Thank you for joining us. Bye-bye.